viable candidate to repeat. Looking at the 3-point shootout, actually, I'm the editor of OrlandoMagic101.com, have been since the end of October. I actually wrote an article with expressing my disgust for my frustration for what has transpired and what the field that was picked again for the 3-point shootout. Let's just go through that real quick. You got Matt Bonner of the San Antonio Spurs, Stephen Curry for the Golden State Warriors, Kyrie Irving of the Cleveland Cavaliers, Steve Novak of the New York Knicks, Ryan Anderson of the New Orleans Hornets, and Paul George of the Indiana Pacers. Those are the 6 guys competing in this year's 3-point shootout. 3-point shootout is really my favorite competition of All-Star Weekend, my favorite part of it, the entire thing. And, to me, looking at this field, the only guys I see there, I'm going back to my J.J. Redick thing. This is what my title was my article was entitled J.J. Redick Overlooked Again for the 3-point shootout. And what has really gotten me about this is the fact that Redick has yet to make an appearance. I believe it's his 7th season in the league now, and he's yet to be in the 3-point shootout. He's always remarked and said, "I'd love to be in it." Last year they went to Orlando. They picked Ryan Anderson. That was understandable, but Redick had his best season to date. This season's been a little better, not quite as high of a shooting percentage, but still around 40%. Very good for a 3-point threat. But to me, looking at this, you got a lot of role players in there. Matt Bonner and Steve Novak are nothing more than role players for their team. I mean, they don't average double digits in points. They don't play a lot of minutes. And, people have been talking about Matt Bonner being in it and deserving it. I looked at his numbers. I don't see that. I don't see why he is in this competition. I guess maybe it's got something to do with being in Houston. They like to have somebody from the home city. So I guess that can be understandable, maybe. But to me, J.J. Redick should be in this competition. He should have been in it several years, but certainly this year. And I'm just very frustrated with that. He has a better percentage than both Ryan Anderson of the Hornets, who's his former teammate, one of his best friends, and Paul George of the Pacers. He's also knocked down more 3-pointers than George, Novak, Irving, and Bonner. And so to me, with him having better numbers than that many guys in the competition, having knocked down more threes, playing more minutes, playing a bigger role in his team, I just can't see why he is not in this field. I think a lot of people that would recognize J.J. Redick from his college days at Duke, people that only watch the All-Star stuff, I think they would really like to see somebody like that with name recognition, who has really made something of himself in the NBA after being questioned when he first came in. But I'm ticked about that. I think Kyrie Irving is in the Rising Stars Challenge. He shot well, but he doesn't shoot as many threes. He's not really known as a specifically 3-point shooter. He's known as one of the premier point guards in the NBA. So I think he's a snub for the All-Star game. He should absolutely be in that All-Star game. So I don't understand, why he is I would put him in the All-Star game. Maybe Redick replaces him. Maybe he replaces a Novak. Probably more likely than Bonner, being that he's a hometown guy. Or Paul George. The only guys I see worthy, Stephen Curry belongs. He definitely belongs in a competition like this. Sharpshooter that he is. I can see Ryan Anderson being in it, those two for sure. But any of the other four, I see no reason why Reddick couldn't be there instead of them. Moving on, some more NBA discussion. I talked about the Miami Heat being favorites. One of the teams that people have talked about maybe having a shot, as a lower seed to knock the Heat off, the Boston Celtics. I don't see that happening. They have won 7 in a row since Rajon Rondo went down, but I don't see that continuing. They have some veteran players that have led them: Paul Pierce, Kevin Garnett, Jason Terry playing well in Rondo's stead. But Rondo was the best player for that team. He's the leader. I don't see that continuing. I don't see them having any shot against the Heat. They'll get worn down in a series. They might take a game or two even, but they'll get worn down in a best of 7 series like that. But I will say I'm very impressed with the way they've rebounded from the Rondo loss. They really seem to be doing well. Doc Rivers is a very good coach. Know him well from his days in Orlando, and he's done a great job with that team. But I don't see them making it far in the playoffs, especially if they're matched up with Heat in the first round. That's a tough matchup. Yeah. We're going to take another quick break here. On tap, we've got a little bit of college basketball discussion. The new poll came out just a few hours ago. I want to talk about that. I also want to get into a little bit of discussion about Michael Jordan. We'll be right back. 30 seconds. I want to welcome you guys back to the Josh McKinney Sports Show All Basketball Edition. It's been all NBA so far, but now we're going to get into a little college basketball discussion. The new polls came out today. The Indiana Hoosiers remained at number 1, while Duke was number 2, Miami number 3, Michigan 4, Gonzaga 5 to round out the top 5. To me, Duke, I thought it was a no-brainer. They're going to be number 1. They were number 1 in the USA Today poll, but the poll that they show on ESPN is the Associated Press for the AP Top 25. And with Indiana losing to Illinois this week, an unranked team, I thought, no-brainer. Duke's going to be number 1, but Duke went to number 2 from number 4 last week. So it was close. Apparently, they got 26 first-place votes. Duke got 20. I thought it maybe should have been the other way around. I can't understand why everybody else that lost last week. Crazy ball games this past week. Top 10 teams to lose. Number 1, Indiana. Number 2, Florida. Number 3, Michigan. Number 5, Kansas, who's lost 3 in a row and fell out of the top 10. Number 7, Arizona. And number 10, Ohio State. And you see, the game of the year, Saturday, you thought, ooh, Wisconsin knocking off Michigan. It was an incredible ball game and an overtime game that Wisconsin pulled out, and now they're number 20 to get into the poll, and they deserve that, obviously. They've knocked off some big-time teams this year with their win over Ohio State, the win over Indiana. So that's awesome to see them getting some notoriety there. Bo Ryan does a great job with that team and has for many years. But to me, the game of the year in college basketball, the best game I've seen in sports in a while, that 5 overtime just thriller. Notre Dame knocking off Louisville. I was pulling for Notre Dame. Didn't look like they had a shot there, but those late 3-pointers in regulation went to overtime. You saw Rick Pitino getting mad, throwing his water bottle, his assistant catching it. You saw Mike Bray just having a great time coaching up his team. They were just laughing and having fun, playing with house money, Dick Vitale, who was calling the game, said. And so that was great to see. One of the surprises this season is the Miami Hurricanes. Leading the ACC right now, didn't see that coming. A lot of people thought State would win it. I thought, obviously Duke's going to be up there. They're ranked right behind Duke now. They jumped from number 8 to number 3. They've steadily climbed. They weren't even ranked to undefeated in the ACC. I see it coming down to them and Duke, obviously the top two teams. Duke's got 2 losses, and without Ryan Kelly, probably the rest of the year until tournament time, hopefully we'll be able to get him back. Because I thought Duke had a shot at sniffing an undefeated season, and that's very rare. I don't usually say that, but they're such a good team. They're finally hitting their stride, kind of, with Kelly, although they only won by a point in Boston College last night. So that was a nerve-wracking ball game. But Miami's really been great this year. Got a lot of great, really good players, and they're really doing a nice job. And to see that team possibly get a number 1 seed in the NCAA tournament is not out of reach at this point. Certainly going to be a 1 or a 2 the way they're playing right now. But Michigan, they're calling back memories of the Fab Five. They've got a great team. They've got some great second generation players. And Gonzaga has went under the radar, but now snuck into the top 5, and that's good to see as well. Those teams they're going to be some top seeds in the NCAA tournament as well. I do want to get into real quick. Michael Jordan turned 50 on Sunday. Obviously, most people consider him the greatest basketball player of all time. I just want to wish him a happy early birthday on Sunday. But Antoine Jameson of the Lakers made a comment yesterday that Jordan could still play in the NBA. He could still come off the bench, score 10 or 11 points if put on a team with LeBron James or Kobe Bryant or a star player like that. And I've got to say, I absolutely. I mean, I'm sure he's still got some skills. Obviously, he being a greatest of all time. Yeah, sure he could come off the bench and contribute to a team, give him some good minutes. He said playing 15 to 20 minutes a game. He could probably play just in short bursts here and there and provide a team with a great option off the bench. There's a lot of guys he could be better than that's currently coming off the bench for teams. I will say I don't see that happening. Skip Bayless again today said he wanted to see that. He would love to see Jordan try that, but he's certainly not going to be the player he once was. He's not in that same shape. I don't think he's got the drive still to come back and play on a daily basis and the daily grind of the NBA schedule. So I don't see that happening. That's a great thing, but I mainly want to say this to wish Jordan a happy birthday. Hope everything is going well for you. They're obviously the majority owner of the Charlotte Bobcats. I hope you can help turn that team around. Got some nice pieces there. I hope you continue to build that team up. And just going to wish MJ a happy birthday. I want to thank you for listening to the Josh McKinney Sports Show today, the All Basketball Edition. Hope you enjoyed it. We'll see you next time, and God bless you.